Hi, welcome to Onward Shift's podcast. I want to start by saying thank you to those that tune in weekly. I really appreciate your support, so thank you. And if this is your first time here, then welcome aboard. I genuinely hope every single one of you who are listening takes something really positive away from today's podcast. Now, before we get started, I'd love the opportunity just to quickly talk about Onward Shift because we're so much more than just a podcasting platform. We are a mental health company and we offer coaching in 6 different divisions. And those divisions are nutrition, relationships, career, business, life, and ADHD. We also have 12 accountability groups from daily fitness all the way to weekly personal projects. We have this podcast, which I'm really grateful for because we're going to have guests coming on board very soon, and those guests are going to be absolutely awesome. We also have our events in Colchester and Essex, which are our walk and talks, and we also have products. Lastly, we have a bit of bedtime reading with several blogs on our website, which is onwardshift.com. Now, if you do want to check out the whole platform, please do go to our website. There is lots and lots of information there. But if you do have any queries, you're more than welcome to contact us at journey@onwardshift.com. Now, let's get into the podcast. Because this is a podcast which has 99.9% surely affected everyone. And that's a bad day. Now, I'm not going to lie. And as those who listen know, I am quite open and I talk about my experiences quite a lot on the podcasts. So there's no difference today. I had a really bad Monday last week. Honestly, it was a rough one. And for some reason, I couldn't snap out of that mindset. It was really challenging. And Tuesday came, and my Tuesday was also bad. All the way up until Friday morning, I was in a really bad headspace because every day something went wrong. Now, that's really surprising for me because usually I'll brush things off quite quickly. But you know those days which turn into, close to a working week, which just go bad to worse? Well, I had one of them last week and I haven't had one of them in a very long time. And it made me think. It really made me think because I was like, God, what can I do to make sure that my Friday isn't as bad as my Thursday? So I woke up on Friday and straight away, I don't know why, but I was like, oh man, what's going to go wrong today? And then I checked myself. And what I mean by that, I mean I acknowledged my faults. So if I say checked, it means acknowledging my faults. But yeah, I checked myself and I was like, okay, you know what, Vish, I can't do this. I need to just get that fault out of my head because when you think that way, you'll find that your day becomes that, and that's really not the way you want to start a day, especially after you've had 4 quite rough days already. So got out of bed, done my push-ups, do my sit-ups, and I just got started with my day. Anyway, as the day goes on, I realized that I had to shift my mindset. My mindset had to shift because I didn't want to go back to Monday to Thursday. So what I did was I started, breaking jobs down. So for example, if I had to write a LinkedIn post, for example, I'd break it down to really small jobs. Like, okay, let me just log into LinkedIn. And then following that, let me write a paragraph. And then if I fancy it, I'll write another paragraph, etc., etc., etc. It's probably a bad example, but, I'm sure you get what I mean. I broke a task down into very small sections, and I felt that sense of achievement moving forward because each task was getting completed. Now, from doing that, I started building momentum, and the momentum kicked in, and all of a sudden the day started feeling a bit better. But come to the end of the day, all my jobs were done, everything was sorted out, I reflected on the week, and I actually realised it wasn't that bad of a week. Yeah, things didn't go to plan, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was at the time. Have you ever experienced that? Take yourself back to a time where you've gone, oh, today's been a bad day because of one thing that's gone wrong. And then the following day, it has also been a bad day, but you're sort of still upset about the day before. I think I'm making sense, right? Now, imagine what I could have achieved if I just let go of the thing that bothered me on Monday. Let's sit with that for a second. Now, if I just let go of what bothered me on Monday, that means Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday would have been great days. But instead, I held on to that pain and the anger and the frustration, and it actually sabotaged so much. Do you know what I mean? It's really important to let go of things. And I call that the bounce back rate. And what the bounce back rate means is one, how much will it affect me if I keep this thought or this feeling inside, this negative feeling? It could potentially affect me quite a lot. In fact, in this situation, it affected me for 4 days. So it's not great holding on to those emotions and those feelings, especially if they're not emotions and feelings that need to be held on to. So it's really important to just let it go. However best, we do that. What I should have done at that time is go for a walk, because I love to go for a walk. Then the other question is it worth holding on to this? Well, I guess not, because I've already established it's going to ruin my flow. So why should I hold on to it? And then it's really important to realize that I'm not going to take anything away from this, which is going to be positive. So it's really important to have a quick bounce back rate. Now, there's several ways to do it. Again, all from personal experience. Usually, for me, it's going for a walk, but there are other things I do, and that will be taking a step back. Take a step back, reevaluate the situation, and move in thinking, okay, cool. I've had this bad moment happen. I can't let it continue to bother me. So let's just hold fire with everything I'm doing, go downstairs or wherever, make a cup of tea, whatever I need to do to get my head out of that. And once I'm out of that, then I can deal with my emotions, deal with my feelings, understand the situation, find a way to either solve the situation or move away from the situation, and then go back into it. But first things first, we need to address those emotions, address those feelings, address how we're feeling, and allow ourselves to let go of it. Then I think it's really important to talk about it as well. Like, have we ever been in a position where got something going wrong and you feel like you can't talk to anyone about it? See, I wish I picked up the phone to one of my friends or family members last week, Monday, and said, I've had a really bad day. Do you mind giving me some advice? Because there's a really high chance someone would have added clarity to the situation and kind of gone, it's not really worth it. What's the point of worrying about something you can't control? So that's another really good tool to have. Just pick up the phone to one of your nearest and dearest and go, going through something here. Do you mind letting me talk about it? If that's what you want, you might not want advice, and make that clear and just go, I'm not looking for advice here. I just need to blow some steam. There's a few ways of dealing with things when you're having a bad day. Going for a walk, taking yourself out of the situation, reevaluating the situation, taking that step back, speaking to people, and making a cup of tea. So there's several different ways. So moving forward, next time you're in a position where you're like, okay, I'm having a bad morning or a bad afternoon, and you don't want it to take over the rest of your week like I did last week, just pause. And once you're ready, get back into your day and move forward with it. Because it's so important not to let one bad thing affect the rest of your week or day or even hour. There's this really interesting quote, and as many of you know, I am terrible at remembering quotes, but I'm going to try this one off the top of my head. 86,400 seconds in a day. Now, if somebody takes 10 seconds away from you, are you willing to sacrifice the rest? Maybe. Who cares? They're seconds, right? Well, now let's put it into something that has value. Not that time doesn't have value, but I'm talking more value because, it's money. If you had £86,400 in your bank account, and I took 10 of those pounds away, would you sacrifice the rest of the money? You wouldn't, right? Well, we only have 86,400 seconds in our days. And that's not including sleeping, eating, and all the rest of it. We should be comparing money and time there in that quote, in my opinion. Because what we're doing is we're sacrificing our time. If it was money, we wouldn't be sacrificing it. So we shouldn't be doing that. If something goes wrong in your day, don't let the rest of your day get ruined. And this is coming from someone who just done this, and I've taken a moment and I've realized, okay, this isn't right. And I want to change that. And if I can change it, then I'm hoping other people can also change it. Because we can't be wasting that time on something that we can't control, or a negative emotion that, can potentially sabotage a whole day. Our days are precious, our time is precious, and we should be treating it like that. Now, I'm definitely not saying to scrap all of your emotions. You shouldn't do that. If something is truly affecting you, then, take that time out and really think about what's hurt you, why it's hurt you, and how you can deal with it and how you can improve it for next time. But the important thing to remember is if it's something small and it can be let go of and your bounce back rate can be quick, then whatever that is, just put it aside. Forget about it, move on, laugh, and just crack on with your day. So, so, so important not to let one bad thing ruin your next day and the day after or the week after that. So that's my podcast for today. It was a short and sweet one because I do have to do some preparation work. We've got quite a few guests that are coming on to the podcast soon, and there's lots and lots of work I have to do for that. So today's podcast was short and sweet. Now, like every podcast, I do really appreciate feedback. So please, please, please do send feedback to journey@onwardshift.com, and one of the team would most definitely get back to you as soon as possible. Also, if you do have a story to share, please get in touch with us. We absolutely love hearing new stories, and if you were comfortable to jump on the podcast, then there's also that potential option too. Now, I hope you have a lovely day and the rest of your week, and thank you for listening. Can't wait for the next few to come out.